There's this rumor that Steve Harvey tried to get Bernie Mac's role on Ocean's 11,
right,
and even try to like undercut him in price and stuff like that. Do you know anything about the story?
It was weird to me because I was there the whole time. And one of the first things people say is, he knew you loved him. And I'm like, that's not really, how do you know that that's true if I didn't tell him?
At 62, DL Hughley finally opened up, addressing footage the industry had suppressed and revealing truths they wanted to remain hidden about Bernie Mac's final years.
And I hear somebody come in my room and I go, who is that? Nigga, who is that? I like, nigga, who is this in my room? Who the f in my room? I mean, you better get the f out of my room. We both go to the door with pistols.
For 16 years, the story remained protected, veiled by grief and quiet behind-the-scenes agreements. Yet the truth about why Bernie Mac spent his last days isolated, overlooked, and betrayed was beginning to surface. Let's dive into it. Bernie Mac did something Hollywood considered unacceptable. He recognized his own value. When the original Kings of Comedy tour launched in 1997, Bernie was expected to be grateful for his placement in the middle of the lineup. Steve Harvey was the established star, the familiar TV presence, the recognizable radio voice. Roles were fixed, and everyone was supposed to remain in their assigned positions.
Steve at one point was, uber successful, and then Bernie started to, because he didn't ever think he would get the opportunity he got.
But night after night, city after city, Bernie Mac disrupted that hierarchy. His unfiltered honesty cut through the polished routines of the others. When Bernie took the stage, the audience didn't just laugh. They connected with him on a deeper level. He wasn't just performing comedy, he was speaking raw truth. The change was gradual, then sudden. Bernie stopped pretending to be fortunate just to be included and began embracing the reality that he was the main attraction. Audiences bought tickets for the Kings of Comedy, but they left quoting Bernie Mac. His stories about raising his sister's children, navigating daily life, and offering sharp, fearless insights on family and society resonated with unmatched clarity.
Did America love him? Like we all kind of knew they would. And he decided to go a different way.
The closing spot wasn't just about ego. It symbolized respect, bargaining power, and the highest paycheck. The final performer is the star, the one audiences come to see. When Bernie pushed for that position, he wasn't seeking attention alone. He was challenging a long-established hierarchy that had confined Black comedians to fixed roles. DL Hughley observed the shift with a mix of admiration and concern. He knew exactly what Bernie was up against. For decades, Hollywood had followed one unspoken rule. Black performers could achieve success, but never to the point of threatening those in power. Bernie emerging as the tourist standout act created a dilemma. How do you preserve the original lineup when the supporting act is the one igniting the crowd? How do you maintain industry relationships when undeniable talent disrupts carefully arranged agreements?
Nobody ever tried to blow out somebody else's candle to make theirs burn brighter. It was just cats that had natural affinity for each other.
The twist was that the very qualities that made Bernie Mac legendary also made him a target. His refusal to dilute his voice, his insistence on being treated as an equal, and his growing awareness of his value, all traits fans admired, were viewed by the industry as disruptive. Behind the scenes, decisions were being made without him. TV executives were calling, studios considered solo projects, and the Kings of Comedy had inadvertently awakened Hollywood's biggest fear: a Black comedian who understood his power and wasn't afraid to use it. Pressure mounted from all sides. Executives wanted to protect the hierarchy. Fellow comedians relied on the structure staying intact. People felt threatened because Bernie's rise could shift the balance. Yet Bernie had already discovered something more meaningful than industry approval: the connection between honesty and the audience. Once experienced, small gestures disguised as appreciation no longer sufficed. Hollywood responded as it often did when Black performers exceeded assigned limits. If they couldn't control him, they tried to create insecurity. If they couldn't stop his momentum, they drained the joy from it. Their first tactic: manufacture conflict. Suddenly, trade outlets reported tensions and ego issues in the Kings. Journalists who had never been backstage became self-appointed experts. The genuine Bernie Mac was now labeled difficult, his confidence recast as arrogance, and his reasonable demands reframed as diva behavior. Worst of all, his success was used against him. Every achievement became proof of an inflated ego. Every normal request was treated as excessive. Hollywood had perfected the method: turn a Black entertainer's standard expectations into public accusations of entitlement.
That Steve Harvey tried to get Bernie Mac's role on Ocean's 11,
Right.
and even try to undercut him in price and stuff like that. Do you know anything about this?
While the public only saw PR tension, the real impact happened quietly. The Ocean's 11 situation illustrated how the system truly operates. Whether Steve Harvey actually tried to lower Bernie's quote wasn't the key issue. The rumor revealed something larger: how quickly established stars could undermine someone whose rise threatened their own standing. Hughley noticed patterns beyond normal career competition. Opportunities that seemed ideal for Bernie disappeared abruptly. TV appearances were canceled at the last moment. Film roles went to less capable comedians willing to follow orders. Individually, these events looked like misfortune. Together, they revealed coordinated exclusion. The psychological toll was heavy. Bernie had to defend his reputation against vague accusations from every direction. Managing real opportunities while fending off unseen smear campaigns wore him down in ways only those closest to him fully understood.
Never once did I see anything. When I read some of the things that people were alleging, it was weird to me because I was there the whole time.
The most damaging tactic wasn't the gossip, it was isolation. Comedians who might have supported Bernie stepped back, worried that Hollywood would punish them for siding with someone labeled difficult. Even executives who admired his talent hesitated, unwilling to take risks on a man suddenly deemed problematic. This separation affected Bernie both mentally and professionally. He began questioning his own judgment, wondering if asking for basic respect was unreasonable. The ongoing, subtle pressure slowly eroded the confidence that had once made him a force in the industry. Hughley saw this as a clear example of how the business controls Black performers. Success is permitted, but only within predefined limits. Push beyond those boundaries, request autonomy, or seek treatment routinely granted to white comedians, and the system reacts with precise pushback. Bernie's only offense was believing he deserved fair treatment. Yet, in an industry shaped by subtle racial hierarchies, that belief alone made him seem threatening. By 2005, Bernie faced challenges he never expected. His sarcoidosis diagnosis, instead of inspiring understanding, became another tool to restrict him.
I remember I was at the golf course and we were getting ready to put it together, and everybody was all excited, and so it was. You remember how the Lakers had Chris Paul for a second, and then the next day they did. That's how it was.
The planned Kings of Comedy reunion had the potential to mark Bernie's major comeback. Hughley recalled the early meetings: excitement, record-breaking expectations, massive financial forecasts, and strong audience demand. Everything suggested the tour would be historic. But Bernie was no longer the grateful newcomer. His successful TV series, film roles, and growing influence gave him leverage. When he used that leverage to request equal creative input and fair pay, executives grew uneasy. What should have been the greatest comedy reunion ever was suddenly labeled too difficult to organize.
Bernie, felt like he didn't want to do it anymore. He was on his own path, and Steve. So, nothing like that ever happens or doesn't happen for a reason.
Hughley's public statements were polite, but the reality was more troubling. Bernie didn't leave voluntarily. He was quietly removed from key decisions, sidelined the moment he refused a lesser position in a group where he had become the main draw. Once he demanded equal footing, the reunion collapsed. This pattern followed him for years. Opportunities arose, generated excitement, then vanished the moment he expected to be treated as a partner rather than someone who should remain quietly grateful. During this period, his health was used against him. Producers cited concerns about his illness to deny roles, insurance complications hindered productions, and new obstacles were added despite his spotless work history, all designed to limit his influence.
I was disappointed, but I understood that, those kind of things happen. And I just, got the memory of being with cats that I loved and making history.
Managing a serious illness while being pushed out of the industry created a harsh cycle for Bernie. His worsening condition amplified the emotional toll of constant rejection, and the ongoing struggle for basic respect further harmed his health. Hughley witnessed his friend break under pressures he could not prevent. Even more painful was seeing Bernie's relationships with the other kings deteriorate under the same pressures. The brotherhood that once seemed unshakable weakened due to industry politics and unexpected competition. When false reports of Bernie's death surfaced weeks before he passed, it underscored how isolated he had become. Rumors about his health had circulated so widely that the real news felt almost expected. Bernie Mac passed away on August 9, 2008, officially from pneumonia complications while being treated for sarcoidosis. Those close to him understood the truth. His decline was shaped as much by systemic mistreatment as by medical issues. His immune system failed in two places, in his body and within the industry. Once his death became public, Hollywood acted immediately. A polished, carefully curated version of his final years appeared. Hughley watched the same system that had sidelined Bernie now portray itself as the guardian of his legacy.
One of the first things people say is, he knew you loved him. And I'm like, that's not really, how do you know that that's true if I didn't tell him?
The change was immediate and striking. Executives who had made Bernie's life difficult now filled industry publications with glowing statements praising his talent and extraordinary influence. Those who had used his illness against him suddenly offered emotional tributes. The real conflicts, power struggles, and exclusions that defined Bernie's final years were erased, replaced by an idealized version of brotherhood that never fully reflected reality.
It just seemed out of sync with what I experienced on the Kings of Comedy. So I never saw them do anything like that.
Hughley found himself walking a delicate line between honesty and diplomacy. Speaking the truth risked appearing disrespectful to Bernie's memory and could negatively affect the careers of the men still alive. But staying silent meant allowing an inaccurate story to become accepted history. Pressure came from every direction. TV producers preferred feel-good reunion specials, not difficult discussions about racism or industry politics. Fans wanted to remember the Kings as a celebration of Black success, not as a reminder of how limited that recognition could be. Bernie's grieving family needed support, not additional conflict. Hughley understood that the full truth had to wait until the pain wasn't so immediate.
tour, and we were all proud of each other and supportive of each other and happy to have been a part of it.
The cover-up went far beyond protecting feelings. The industry had strong incentives to hide the truth, because revealing Bernie's treatment would expose patterns affecting many other Black performers. His experience wasn't unique, it was common. Evidence was quietly suppressed. Behind-the-scenes footage showing real group dynamics was stored in studio archives. Contracts and emails documenting discriminatory behavior were hidden under lifetime confidentiality agreements. Interviews where honesty slipped through were edited or removed. In their place, Hollywood presented a polished story, a beloved comedian fully supported by the industry, passing peacefully as a cherished legend.
And we were all proud of each other and supportive of each other and happy to have been a part of it.
This carefully managed version of Bernie's legacy wasn't just about reputation. It helped the industry maintain the same patterns. If his story had served as a warning about the cost of demanding dignity, other Black performers might have resisted as well. Even after his death, the cover-up erased what Bernie had fought for: genuine recognition and earned respect. Years later, when comedians like Cat Williams spoke out about similar mistreatment, Hughley recognized the courage required. By then, the altered version of Bernie's story had been repeated so often that the truth sounded almost like a conspiracy. Hughley's awareness of the system's harshness grew gradually, particularly after his public clashes, starting with the conflict with Monique. That battle demonstrated how quickly loyalty in the industry can turn into hostility. The 2022 Detroit comedy show disaster revealed the same patterns that had once undermined Bernie. What began as a standard booking, two major comedians sharing the Fox Theater stage, escalated into a widespread controversy when Monique discovered the billing had changed, placing Hughley as the headliner.
Bitch nigga, I feel sorry for DL Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his fucking wife, because how do you suck the dick of a coward?
Monique's criticism went beyond professional disagreement. She attacked Hughley personally, questioning his character as a father and referencing his daughter's assault, claiming he hadn't initially believed the victim.
I let a man touch my child, which nothing could be further from the truth. They were both 13 years old. They were friends that had grown up together. And this is something I lament to this day. Denied that I said, well, you know, that's what kids do. And I will never forgive myself for not, A, believing her.
Hughley's response reflected lessons learned from watching Bernie Mac be worn down by the system. Instead of retreating or appeasing anyone, he presented evidence, contracts, schedules, emails to support his position. Yet by then, the behind-the-scenes whisper campaign was already underway. The feud highlighted patterns Hughley recognized from Bernie's experience. A successful Black performer demands respect, allies turn away, personal attacks damage credibility, and opportunities begin to vanish. Isolation and the difficult label appear quickly. The difference now was social media. Platforms that spread accusations also gave performers direct access to their audiences, bypassing gatekeepers. Hughley saw how quickly the industry could push someone from insider to outsider, even someone with decades of experience. The isolation that destroyed Bernie loomed over him, but Hughley had advantages Bernie never had: a daily radio platform, years of experience, and awareness of the cost of silence. He refused to repeat that mistake.
I'm a solid dude. My family loves me, despite all the horrible I've done. I'm as solid as they come. Can you say the same? I ain't gotta sue people or call people out. I ain't gotta argue. I just be who I am and do what I do.
The Monique conflict illustrated how the industry weaponizes disputes against Black artists. Both comedians faced consequences far beyond the disagreement. The feud became justification to limit opportunities, labeling them too risky. Hughley's openness about politics further turned him into a target. His appearance at the 2024 Democratic National Convention, where he publicly apologized to Kamala Harris for prior criticism, marked a turning point with parts of the industry and audience.
I believe that your apology should be as loud as your accusation, and I'm here apologizing in front of the whole damn world.
The apology sparked immediate controversy. Hughley admitted he had criticized Harris's record as a prosecutor without proper research, influenced by misleading narratives portraying her as anti-Black. Speaking before thousands at the DNC, he acknowledged spreading inaccurate claims and publicly pledged support for her campaign. Critics quickly accused him of being financially motivated, claiming Democratic operatives had bought his endorsement. Some venues canceled shows, citing security concerns or potential backlash. The same isolation tactics once used against Bernie appeared on a political stage. Yet many appreciated Hughley's honesty and accountability. His radio show gained traction, even as traditional bookings declined. The authenticity that made him difficult for executives resonated with audiences, tired of polished celebrity statements. The parallels to Bernie's experience were clear, with key differences. Bernie had been isolated, Hughley built connections with others facing retaliation. Bernie relied on traditional industry structures. Hughley reached audiences directly via radio and social media. Control tactics remained subtle but effective. Quiet smear campaigns, selective exclusion, and market pressure. At 62, Hughley understood the forces that undermined Bernie. Speaking out about hidden footage and the cover-up wasn't just loyalty. It exposed a system that continued to manipulate and damage Black talent. The strategies had evolved, but the intent remained the same. Finally, the footage was released, revealing the truth about systemic mistreatment that shaped careers and derailed lives. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. Bye.